Thank you for tuning in. And it's my pleasure to welcome you and guide you into this meditation practice. The inspiration behind this meditation owes a great debt to the spirit of revolutionary lineages, liberation movements, and ancient wisdom traditions. No one acts alone or is in isolation. The meditation that I'm about to guide you in was passed down to me by my teacher and mentor, Myra Avedon, to whom I'm very grateful. So the following is a humble offering of self-care, knowing, hoping, and trusting that the twin medicines of music and meditation can function as a political and spiritual resource for these times, to build just that bit more capacity in honor of and support of collective liberation and a free Palestine. Experiencing the Doikayt. This meditation partly emerged and was deeply informed by my commitment to the principle of Doikayt. Doikayt is a core organizing principle of the radical Jewish diasporic movements that goes back to the Pale of Settlement Empire and beyond. Doikayt means Hereness. Rather than belonging to any nation state or to a projected homeland out there, Hereness is wherever we are is our home, and we are from wherever we are. So the here and the now, the time and space that we inhabit, is the place of struggle, and the place from which forms our path towards collective liberation. From an embodied Doikayt perspective then, our sense of home can be reactivated in ourselves, within, through the intelligence of our own bodies, with each other, and in solidarity with everything. The following meditation can be taken in any way you like. You can choose to experience the meditation, or to listen to it as a soundscape, a story, a poem, or even a background murmur. You can choose to pause or go back to it at any time. All directions are possible and welcome, and are the right ones for you right now. Every practice has a purpose. In this practice, we will create containers to hold space for your eyes, your brain, the organ of your heart, your cell, and finally, we'll rest in the fluid membranes of space itself. By holding space for ourselves and our organs, we soothe our nervous system by resting in our membranes to respond creatively and imaginatively to the needs of the moment, to ourselves and to each other, supporting and cultivating more deeply our greater purpose and path towards collective liberation. So to begin this practice, the first thing I'm going to invite you to do is to find your comfort, adjusting yourself so that you feel just that little bit more comfortable. You might want to stretch a little before you settle into stillness. And you can do this practice sitting or lying down or standing, whatever works for you. I'm doing this in a seated position. My feet are bare and rooted into the ground, and I'm allowing myself to sink a bit more deeply into the direction of gravity, allowing my pelvis to drop ever so slightly so that the organs in my belly can begin to relax. Taking a few breaths now. I'm going to invite you to feel your feet on the ground and sense into all the surfaces that are supporting you right now. You might be feeling into your back body, where it's supported, where your arms and legs are resting, and you're meeting the support, inviting it to rise up to meet you. How do you come? How are you feeling? Just noticing what's here. Noticing what's here is a form of presencing, opening up awareness and connecting to your baseline allows you to trace your shift into full embodiment over the course of this practice. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or keep them cast down. And by doing this, you filter out external stimulation from the environment and gain a deeper access to your internal landscape. Once your eyes are closed, I'm going to ask you to rest your eyes into the back of your eye sockets, and that you have a softness from the fatty pads at the back of your eyes. And it's a bit like sitting back in a soft chair or a warm pool of water. You're just holding neutral space for the optical nerves of your eyes to recalibrate and restore, and for them to do whatever they need to do. Taking a few breaths now as you do this. Now I'm going to invite you to turn your attention to your brain. Your brain is an organ that is surrounded by 3 membranes, and there are fluid layers in between these membranes. And just like the fatty pads behind your eyes, the membranes behind your eyes, which hold space for your eyes, the membranes around your brain hold space for your brain. And rather than go directly to your brain, You just rest in the membranes. See if you can try that out now. So, you're holding neutral space when you rest in your membranes. And you rest in the membranes by just resting there. And you're holding space for your brain, allowing it to restore, recalibrate, renew itself. It doesn't really have to make any sense how you get there. Could be a feeling or an image that gets you there. And it definitely doesn't have to be anatomically accurate. No effort required. So the fatty pads behind your eyes hold a softness for the nerves of your eyes. And the membranes hold neutrality for your brain, so that your brain and eyes can do whatever they need to do. Now, as an extension to this practice, we're going to shift to the organ of the heart. If it's helpful, you might even imagine a luminous cord going down from the back of your brainstem to your heart space. And if it feels right, you can gently drop your head towards your chest, allowing your heart and brain to connect. This is a primordial gesture, something that happened embryonically in utero. The heart and brain, before separating, were once one unit. So by dropping the head to the heart, it reactivates that prehistoric memory. See if you can feel into that. And when you're ready, you can slowly lift up your head back to neutral. And if it feels right, you can place your hand on your chest. See if you can allow your heart to rest in between your lungs now. Often the heart tenses up and extends itself out as a survival strategy, out of fear or longing for connection. See if you can just let it rest now in its membrane, in its chamber, known as the space for the heart. And the outside layers of the chamber is the pericardium, your heart protector, the fluid, double membrane sac, which holds your heart. Feeling and sensing the tissues of your lungs on either side of your heart, your chest bone on the front, your vertebrae and esophagus on the back, And your heart also has the sternum and muscles and tissues underneath it in the front. And this is considered the chamber of the heart. I'm going to invite you now to hold space for your heart in a neutral way, so that your heart can feel that space for itself and be whatever it needs to be. You feel the membranes around the heart that hold space for your heart, and you go as neutral as possible so that your heart is given space. I mean, if your brain comes in and wants to analyze or control or interrupt, you can thank it and then just invite it to take a submarine ride down below into your body, allowing it to soften and then turn back to your heart. We're going to keep going this route now, and as the next phase of this practice, going to invite you to turn your attention to a generic cell in your body. The cell has a membrane also to protect its insides from the environment. Your cellular membrane holds space for what's inside the cell. And inside of your cell, there is a smaller pool. It also has organelles and a community inside. And inside there is another organelle in the center, which is your nucleus, which holds your DNA. Your DNA is floating. It's sensing its environment. Now, whatever you sense all the way down there affects your future cells that divide. So, whatever you wish for there, whatever you want to be lived there, has an effect. You have an influence by setting a tone for the environment which radiates out. And you relax. You trust it's happening. You create a mindful environment by holding space for your own cells to recreate you. And you breathe in all the way into the pores of your skin, into your cells, allowing them to receive oxygen. Let your cells flow from the soles of your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Let these billions and trillions of life forces rise up to meet you. Let them rise up to meet you. Life forces moving towards life. If we could really see on a very fine level, we would see a web that's inside of us. It's an actual weave of all tissue woven together with fibers, fluid and cells. And that weave is on a micro and macro level. So just imagine that the weave is woven all the way down to your cell. We have the weave of the cytoskeleton, and underneath that weave, we have another weave of the molecules, all woven together to connect. And that weave goes further out, radiating to the tissues, to the skin, to the weave of light, woven together as particles in the atmosphere, in space. There are weaves we can and cannot see, but they are woven. So if you're connecting to your inner weave, all the way down to your cell, and the community of cells in your body, you're sensing your weave connects to the bigger weave of everything. But because of how we often experience things, we don't always feel ourselves easily connected. And we certainly don't always feel ourselves easily connected to others or other things. The oppressive systems just don't allow for that. But when we're connected and interact, it's really different. It's a way of coming home, experiencing the Doikayt, and being in relationship to everything around us. I'm going to take a moment's pause now, where you get to rest in the space holding function around your cells, your heart, your brain, and your eyes. And everything just gets to do whatever it wants to do. And you may notice your breathing may have changed. Maybe there's slightly more texture and depth to it. You're just naturally breathing. And you probably have space to breathe. You feel the earth underneath you, space around you. Space also holds you. So you're held by space, you're held by the earth, and you're held by your membranes. See if you can really relax into that. You have space. Now, if you were to imagine yourself in the night sky, clear, no stars, no clouds, it just goes on forever. And it's the space holding you, literally. We think of the earth holding us in gravity, but space also holds us. It supports us. You can rest your shoulders underneath the armpits, just on the space that lifts you up in an anti-gravity way. And you rest into space, just like you rest into earth, the fluid space around you, above you, to the sides of you, and underneath. And from that vast space, you feel yourself while resting in space. And there's no effort. You let it emerge as a feeling. Don't work it too hard. Just staying in the vastness of how it feels. Allow for whatever message or sound, images to emerge. Maybe it comes with a bit of movement. Whatever emerges, trust it. Even if it's silence. See what comes back. And let no thing support you. Nothing. No idea. Just being. Rest into it. Relax into it. Let nothing give you space. And let everything within that space do what it needs to do. And let the greater awareness around you hold you in space. You feel the earth underneath you, space around you. You're held by space. You're held by the earth. And you're held by your membranes. You keep your eyes closed, and everything just gets to be held. You don't have to initiate it. You don't have to work on it. You just rest in that which holds your insides, so that the outsides get to relax, the insides get to relax, and the space around you just does their job. Holding space. No initiation from your nervous system, just resting in your membranes. Like your eyes rest back into your head. Just allowing yourself to take a few breaths now, while you connect your feet more deeply to the ground. And receiving in all the supportive surfaces that you are making contact with. And I want to invite you to gently rock side to side if that feels good. As a way for you to integrate this practice into your system. Or if any movements that want to happen, let them happen. And when you're ready, you can very softly open your eyes, but in such a way that you're not grasping for anything. You're just slowly allowing the world to stream back to you, taking in anything that's curious, in your surroundings. The colors, the smell, the textures, the sounds. You may start to notice a difference or a subtle shift from how you felt before the practice. Maybe a sense of greater aliveness or ease. Just noticing what you notice. If it feels right, I invite you to take a walk around the place that you're in with this awareness, remembering that you can always connect back there whenever you need. It's always available to you. Then perhaps thanking yourself and whatever helped you to get there. Thank you for your practice.